differently than desired once you say yes. I'm going to tell y'all a little story. It's so funny. I was sitting talking to God, and I do talk out loud to God. It wasn't to myself. We was just having this dialogue. And I said, you know, Lord, it's such a trip how, you know, I had some great news to come across my path and my life, and God opened the door that 10 years ago I wouldn't have never seen this for my life. I wouldn't have never wanted it for my life, but he opened the door. And I know that once God opens the door, Satan going to try to open and close 10. And I was sitting and I said, you know, Lord, as soon as you bless us with something, it just seems like situations just come. And they come. And so I was getting ready to prepare to study for this sermon. And I said, let me get ready. You know, had my cornrows on looking like Queen Latifah and set it off. Was comfortable at home, just chilling. And I said, Lord, I want to make sure that the word that I give is what you're putting in my heart and that it's going to touch somebody else. Because it's not about me grandstanding or nothing, but what is it? You're using me as a vehicle, and I want to be used to the best of my ability. And I said, it's just weird how every time you use us and you set things up nice for us, give us a nice package, here comes Satan. No more than 30 minutes later, I get a knock on my door. And it was kind of robust. And I was like, well, you know, anything I did was like 10 plus years ago. My slate is clean. So I looked out the peephole, and I see this tall guy with a badge on. And I was like, okay, wrong door maybe. You know, I live in and usually in my building, they don't let people upstairs. The front desk has to call you. You know, Miss Bryant, you have somebody down here. My cousin weaseled her way in, I don't know how, but this guy standing there, and I'm like wondering, what could this be? So surely he had the wrong door. Tall Caucasian guy, never seen him in my life, with a badge. Didn't see what he could have wanted in unit 234. So I opened the door, and he says, how you doing? I said, fine. He says, are you Yvette Bryant? I said, yeah, I am. He says, well, I have a summons for you to appear in court. And I was like, in court? He says, yeah. And I said, well, what could this be about? He looked at me and said, ma'am, I don't know. So I was really talking out loud, but he just happened to be the one standing there. But he did know because the papers were out. They weren't sealed. So I know the man read the thing going way up on the elevator. So I said, well, what could this be about? And he says, I don't know, ma'am. Can you sign? And I said, sure. And I said, thank you. And then he looked at me.